Hello, Joe. What do
Hello,
you know?
Tony. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says,
Haha.
and then laughs about it. Oop,
That's what
don't
I
do that
do.
again.
That's what I do. Oh.
I was about to quit out of messages, but FaceTime was up.
Again, huh?
I gotta pay attention to those things more, apparently.
I mean, you don't have to. But man, oh
Let's
man.
see. Let's see. Happy ROG Ally announcement day?
Okay.
I actually don't know. It's supposed to be today, but I don't know exactly what time they were doing their little song and dance for it. Looking it up, and I can't find it right now.
Well, that's good.
It'd be easier if I had Twitter because that's where they had announced that shit. Well, they announced the announcement for it. Come on, search.
ROG. Nope. That's, yeah, there we go. Phone. I'm guessing ROG North America, maybe? There it is. Uh, 10 a.m. Eastern. Isn't that 7 o'clock here?
No way. It has to be like 8 or 9 o'clock here. Is it three? Are they 3 hours ahead of us?
East Coast is, aren't they?
I don't know. I live in Arizona. We don't have daylight savings times or time zones or anything like that. We don't even have time here.
Well, this says, as of an hour ago, the pre order is now live.
So that does mean that uh, it has gone through. I wonder if you can get it. I wonder if Best Buy's pre-order has gone through.
Uh-huh.
I pulled up the first article I pulled up here was from IGN, and they actually looks like from 1 hour ago. They look like they may have had a hands-on with one because they have pictures of the box and whatnot, and then they have the specs compared to the Steam Deck here. Um, so the processor is the new Ryzen Z1. That was the other question I had because it sounded like rumors had that they were going to release two different versions, a regular version and then an extreme version that was like $100 more.
Extreme.
Which I don't see. So for $699, the Z1 Extreme powered ROG Ally is only $50 more than the beefiest Steam Deck. Packing with a whole slew of technical improvements over valves, blah blah blah.
Holy assholes.
That doesn't answer my question of whether there's a regular version or not.
So the ASUS ROG Ally 7-inch 120 Hz FHD 1080p gaming handheld AMD Z1 Extreme processor 512 gigabyte white is on BestBuy.com for $699 to pre-order right now.
And I just got my I had just got my X amount of years achievement for working at the big blue box.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about building a new computer with it, but by the time I started pricing everything out without a graphics card or a monitor, I was already at like $1,200.
That's easy to do.
Yeah, like a couple of the components were a little on the higher end. Yeah, I was going with a Gen 5 NVMe drive. Don't have to do that, and DDR5 RAM. Uh, but everything else was like, yeah, it's just a newer. It's just a $200 ASUS motherboard, and then I wanted to go with a Ryzen 7. I think it was the 7700X, not like a mid tier, but like a higher end mid tier type thing, and that was like $200 or $300. So nothing was too expensive in my opinion, but then like the pricing came out for this, and it's like, oh, that's only $100 more than what I have for free. Maybe I could get this. Because I also wonder like how much I'm going to actually play if I build a computer. How much am I really going to play games on it? You know, like because I play so many games on my Xbox as it is.
Yeah, so many.
In which case, I could get I think you can hook up. You should be able to hook up the Ally to a monitor and keyboard and mouse and play like that. And then if you really want to spend money, it does support the external graphics card. Sadly enough, I think it's only the mobile external graphics cards that ASUS sells that it supports. That shit's $1,400 for an external an external 4090 mobile. $1,400.
At that point, you might almost just build a PC at that point.
Yeah, so I'm going back and forth. I'm not really sure. But according to IGN here, the specs on this thing, at least compared to the Steam Deck, it has like the newer Zen 4 AMD processor architecture versus the Zen 2 architecture, which was the Steam Deck, so it's like really up there. RDNA 3 graphics versus the RDNA 2 Steam Deck. The screen is the bit nicer one, where the ROG Ally has an actual 1080 screen in 16 by 9, 120 hertz, while the Steam Deck is a 1280 by 800, 1610 screen that's 60 hertz. Obviously, the hard drive is 512 gigabyte versus the different sizes that you can get, 64, 256, or 512 that you can get with the Steam Deck. Both have 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM. Controls, it says asymmetrical Xbox style on the ROG Ally versus symmetrical 2x trackpad on the Steam Deck. Which those trackpads on the Steam Deck are kind of cool, but I haven't really played with my brothers enough to know if it really actually matters in games, or if I'd rather just play with the control stick scheme.
Yeah, because
I'm used to Xbox anyway, so.
Yeah, because if you look at the pictures of the Ally, it looks like a Xbox controller with a screen in the middle of it.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's weird though, because it does have like buttons on the back and 2 shoulder buttons.
Yeah, so the next thing it says is programmability. It has 2 macro back paddles, thumbstick dead zone plus sensitivity, and trigger sensitivity. So I'm not really sure what thumbstick dead zone plus sensitivity means, unless they're using, I'd have to see what type of actual joysticks that they're using. Because I know that most joysticks like the Wii and whatnot use your standard like potentiometer type control input, which can wear out over time. Hence, you get like stick drift and stuff like that. But you have something called a Hall effect joysticks that use. I'm spacing out on what is it now? Light magnets. I can't remember what it is now, but basically it basically reduces the dead zone to essentially nothing. So I wonder if that's not what they're talking about there. Maybe. Either that. Anyway, the Steam Deck has 4 macro back buttons, is what it says. Audio, dual front facing speakers, dual 512 surround sound? Dolby Atmos.
Hell yeah.
Literally going to hook up a 5.1.2 surround sound system to this thing.
Let's do it.
Just, what would that be? 3-4 cables running out of it? Just da-da-da-da-da.
You know, whatever. It becomes so portable at that point.
Yeah, right? Just find a couple of like those really old clip speaker systems and hook them up like that. Dual front-facing speakers in stereo on the Steam Deck. Somehow it ends up being lighter too, 608 grams for the ROG, and 669 grams for the Steam Deck.
Grams.
And then as it lists extra features here, haptic feedback, Armory crate launcher, because that's plus overlay, because that's an extra feature that I want, and fingerprint unlock, which is kind of cool, where where the Steam Deck only has haptic feedback and thumb trackpads. So that's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. It's interesting.
The other features that I know about it as well is it actually runs Windows. I believe Windows 11, just like full-on Windows 11, which is kind of a good and a bad about that because, you know, for one, it can basically run almost any game. Then it may not run it well, but it can basically run any game. But at the same time, Windows isn't really meant to be on such a small touchscreen. And many of those games that you can just install might not just work with controller input.
Yeah, you'd have to.
I think I did see something somewhere that they were talking about that ASUS does have, like kind of like what Valve does, where it says, you know, these are the games that we've confirmed to work with the device. These are the ones that probably work with the device, and these are the ones that may not work with the device. But obviously, so early in the announcements here, I haven't run across any of that stuff yet.
Okay, on ROG's website, or rg.asus.com, they actually have a comparison of the two different versions.
So they do have two different versions. Is it basically boiled down to a different processor?
Let's see here. No. Oh yeah, slightly different processor. So they're both the Gen or the Z1 Zen 4. One is a 4 nanometer that has 8 cores and 16 threads. The other one is a 4 nanometer that has 6 cores and 12 threads.
Gee, I wonder which one the extreme is.
Well, you should probably be able to guess pretty easily.
Guessing the first one.
Oh, and it's got a different graphics processor. A stronger graphics processor, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So it says the AMD Radeon graphics, the AMD I can't talk this morning. RDNA 3 is in both, but one is the 12 CUs and the other one's the 4 CUs. So one has up to 8.6 teraflops versus 2.8 teraflops.
Damn. They really crammed a lot of shit into this thing.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, a lot.
I know watching, like, they did early previews of it on a couple of YouTube channels, and one of them that I'd watched mentioned that this isn't just their the cool thing about this isn't just their, like, knee-jerk reaction to the Steam Deck being popular. Like, this is actually something that ASUS has been slowly developing for the past 10 years. It's just that they didn't believe that it was something that was really marketable up until Steam Deck came out and showed that it actually is.
Yeah.
Extremely marketable. And so they basically put this into gear and pushed it out.
More memory.
I think it's cool.
Also,
okay, have you run across a release date yet? Because you said pre-orders are up.
So
in this IGN article, I have yet to run across any release date.
So, you know, it's really funny. So if you go to Best Buy, I used the app, right? I typed in ASUS ROG Ally. BestBuy.com. The app did not pull it at all. You go to the Twitter.
Doesn't, right? It's garbage. You did that even before.
Yeah. So if you go to the Twitter post, the link they have on there is a direct link to BestBuy.com for the pre-order.
So it almost seems like Best Buy might be the only place that's carrying it, right?
Yeah, because it's when you so when you do it. Let me pull up Twitter again on the old computer Dora here. Oh, good, I'm logged in still. No, Capital One, I don't want to buy tickets to Taylor Swift Eras concert.
But you do.
I mean, sort of. But
with the amount of Taylor Swift that you've been listening to, at least according to Apple Music.
It's true.
What are your friends listening to? Taylor Swift. A little bit of Harry Styles.
Let's see. Stop. Thank you. Stupid ass Twitter. So let's see what Canada does. Canada brings you to their own site, which is not available. But I will say this though, it does say that you should be able to pre-order it starting today. They don't list anything in Canada though. When you click on the link, it brings you to a site that says, "Hey, get notified when it's available." But if you click on the US one, it brings you right to bestbuy.com, and there's only one option to get. There's no secondary option.
Yeah, looking at I found a little bit in the IGN article that lists purchasing guide. Says the ASUS ROG Ally, the 512X1 Extreme model will launch. Oh, there it is. Will launch June 13th.
Oh, here. Oh, yeah. It's right. Yeah, it's on the website.
The pre-order is now available at Best Buy. Pre-order details for the 256 model will be announced at a later date, but the listing is also viewable at Best Buy. It says, really. Let's take a look.
Really? Because I don't see it here.
Yeah, there it is. It just says coming soon.
Oh, because the link I used obviously goes right to the one that's available for pre-order from there. Oh, there we go. So if you go to handheld gaming, it shows it. $599 coming soon. They got headphones that are coming soon that look like earbud knockoffs. They have. Oh, they're re-releasing the new their version of the Xbox controller too.
Where are you at?
So if you're on the ROG site at the very top when you have the store navigator, it says Best Buy, then video games. It should say handheld gaming. If you go to handheld gaming, it lists all of them for you.
All right, give me 1 second. I did see listed on Best Buy's website a little case for it as well, like an official ASUS case. Okay, so where do I go?
So go to video games, and then there should be a section for handheld gaming.
On ASUS's website?
Oh no, on ASUS website, just click on the go to the link that where does it say pre-order at? I'm on the compare site. Where the fuck was the other one? Features. If you go to the Ally page, and you scroll down, is it at the bottom? I use Twitter too, so I don't know if it's different. If you what in the heck? Oh, the website's not doing great. I was trying to load all the videos because I skipped them real quickly. Where did that pre-order button go? I thought it wasn't all the way down.
Anyway, I'm on the website and I see some accessories listed here. ROG Rokiri Pro. Yeah, it looks like the Xbox controller.
Yeah,
like
that's
legit. Looks like actually it has an Xbox logo on it.
Yeah, it's an Xbox brand. It's an Xbox partnership controller that they did.
Built-in OLED display.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Then they also list the ROG gaming charger dock, which looks to have PD, fast charging, HDMI, USB-C to USB-C 2-meter cable included. It looks to be also a pass-through for video. That's interesting because they have the Ally docked to that. It looks like just a little charger, and then from there USB-C to a monitor, and it looks like it's screen mirroring to the monitor straight through the charging cable or charging block. That's cool. There was something else here.
But if you go to the Best Buy site, you can pull up the handheld gaming from bestbuy.com, and it has a bunch of stuff on there. It says coming soon, including the ASUS ROG 650 watt charger dock.
Yeah, that's the dock that I see. There was something else. Okay, so here's also the ROG XG Mobile GC33 which is a GeForce RTX 4090 laptop GPU with a built-in hub and whatnot. Oh, that's right. They also have the Radeon, the AMD version of it, the Radeon RX 6850 mobile. Both of those I know are like $1,200 to $1,400 just for this thing that's like looks like two stacks of playing cards put next to each other.
Yeah, the ROG XG Station 2.
Yeah, does it list it there?
Not on BestBuy.com. BestBuy.com has a lot of the backbones, though. A lot of Insignia accessories for the Steam Deck, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, there's a travel case. There's rubber bumpers. There's screen protectors. There's a hard case as well as a soft case.
Last time I checked, I didn't see any accessories for the Steam Deck, so it must be relatively new.
Might be.
Anti-gravity heat pipes. Anti-gravity heat pipes improve thermal transfer by using a mesh for the wick, increasing capillary pressure by more than 15%. This allows the Ally's cooling solution to maintain effectiveness even when upside down. That's cool. So it basically uses a vapor chamber? Interesting. If I'm looking at that correctly. I'm actually also interested. Let's see if it talks about the thumbstick somewhere in here. Effortless button pressing. Oh, there it is. Joystick. Joysticks are critical. Oh, dead zone adjustment. So it must have something built in that just automatically readjusts for dead zone.
I wonder if it's like the one for the Elite controller.
Yeah, like was it every time you turn it on, it rechecks.
Yeah.
For the zero.
Yep.
For zeroing it out. I also did want to say that there was, I think in one of the pre-reviews I saw that they said that you can swap out, like repairability on this thing is relatively pretty good. That if your thumbsticks go bad, you should be able to open it up and swap out the thumbsticks on it.
Yeah.
Okay, there's more. There's the headset or the AirPods knockoffs right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's really cool. I'm a little stoked about it because it is, a really cool idea to have essentially a giant mobile laptop, gaming laptop in the palm of your hand, it seems like. And who knows, I might buy it.
I just don't see myself ever using it.
Well, that's part of my problem as well. And what keeps me going back and forth between doing something like getting something like this or building a new computer. Because for the longest time, I've been kind of wanting to build a new computer, but if I build a new computer, my next one would be a little bit more than I've ever done before. Because I've never done like custom water cooling or anything like that, but obviously I don't want to go way expensive for everything. But like I said, with just like relatively basic stuff, it already jumps into over $1,000. And it's just like, okay, now I have to really think about the practicality of it. I don't even play my Xbox as much as I do, or as much as I would want to.
Yeah.
So how much am I really going to boot up a computer to play games there? I can definitely say that I would definitely play Cyberpunk DLC for it, but there's not a whole lot coming out that I would say that I really would be looking forward to play, like sitting down and playing.
Yeah.
So should I, build what would end up being probably like a $2,000 gaming computer just to sit there? I don't know. But on the flip side, if I get something like this, it can probably play like the new Cyberpunk pretty well. It's going to be a lot more portable. But at the same time, I already have a Switch. and I don't even play that.
Exactly.
So I'm in a quandary that I don't really know exactly the answer to.
I'm kind of there with you, really, because like I mean, we've talked about it before here and offline. Like I kind of want to buy or build a PC as well.
Yeah.
But it comes down to the fact that I'm just gonna play the same like game I play on my Xbox, probably.
Which is fine because it'll look a lot better, and you'd probably get a little bit more use out of it. But at the same time, like, where are you going to put the game? Where are you going to put the computer?
Yeah.
Like, you're probably going to put it in your office. Like, my computer would end up in my room.
Yep.
So I still don't know.
I sent you a link for NZXT, Joseph.
What? One of their pre-built computers?
So they do, yeah, and they're doing it with, like, obviously better stuff. On that website, it's supposed to be a thing where you can customize them, but I didn't see where it was at.
Yeah, they do have a customization thing. If I recall right, this is even the company that's like, hey, when you're customizing, what games do you play? What type of experience would you want? And, you feed in those few things, and it'll recommend the type of system, the components of the system, and they'll pre-build it for you. And
it's in the drop-down box. That's what it was.
These are, they're very good, I would probably say, but I don't want a pre-built system. I want I build it system. I mean, I do it enough during the day for work.
It's true. You do.
I just want to build my own thing. I just wish that we got discounts on components too. We don't at all.
Nope. That shit.
Or even accommodations on these things. That'd be nice too.
That would be nice, but we don't get that either.
Nope.
We're schlubs, buddy.
We are schlubs.
I had not to go away from our riveting conversation about gaming.
Right.
So there's a lot of weird stuff to talk about. Well, I will stay on gaming. We'll go to the other thing in a minute.
Okay.
It's not a big thing. Fucking whatever, right? It was just a cool story. So obviously, I know, AI has been a big thing lately in the news as well as the tech world in general. A lot of stuff coming about Chat GPT and the new Microsoft one that is like a amalgamation of 5 different ones. Blah blah blah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the video game thing, so this dude, so they're in Destiny 2. Obviously, I play it all the time. Not that our friend Taj would ever pay attention to what I do. Right. Anyways, he. Yeah. Well, so we were talking about the other day.
He's not even going to listen to.
Yeah. So I mean, I can talk all the shit I want about him because he's never going to listen. So we were playing Halo Infinite the other day, right? Like two weeks ago, whatever it was.
Was the last time that I played as well?
Yeah. And the three of us were chatting. In the meantime, me being a menace and just shooting Taj out of the sky or dropping shit on him, because it makes him so mad and it makes me happy. So,
fair.
Whatever. I mean, I heard you laugh, so my audience is growing.
Because it's fun to fuck around with friends when you're doing stuff and find out the things that you can do, like when you can attach a Covenant grenade to one of your friends as you're going up one of the gravity lifts, and it's funny.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Anywho, I had mentioned to him that I play Destiny like every day, right? And he's like, he's like,
I do vaguely remember this conversation.
He's like, oh, I'd like to play Destiny. I don't have any friends that play it.
Motherfucker, you know how many hours that Cody has put into Destiny?
Motherfucker. Anyways, so speaking of AI, that had nothing to do with it. I just wanted to rant about that because it made me so mad. It's like, brother, what? Like,
I don't even have to ask you what you're playing. Like, oh, Cody logged on to Xbox. He's probably playing Destiny.
yeah, literally.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyhow, so in the newest update, or not, sorry, update, the newest game add-on thingy they did, Lightfall, they added a new location. Anyways, there's this event that goes through in the Vex incursion zone, and it is like a high-level public event. And it's random when it comes up. When I say random, it is like public events in general seem pretty fucking random. Like, you can't set your clock to them, right? There's like so bizarrely, like, their RNG is terrible. So anywho, they in this new area, New Muna, Vex incursion zone, there's 3 different public areas you have. Like, every destination has multiple places, right? So every week, a Vex incursion zone is what it's called, moves to one of those 3 places. Inside that area is an event that can happen, and it's a Vex public event. It's massive. Anyhow, so everyone was like, I didn't even know what it was. Like, I randomly was just going from one playable area to another, and I just come driving up on my Sparrow over this bridge, turn the corner, and 3 giant Vex fucking like boss dudes who are completely shielded are just right there, and I literally get stomped. Like, he stomps on me, squishes me like a bug, dead like that. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like, public event. I'm like, what public event is this? Turns out it's this one that rotates through randomly. And weirdly thing about it is you can actually get a guaranteed exotic piece of armor from it, and it's a guaranteed you don't have it already.
Oh.
And it pulls it from even ones that are like locked to legendary lost sectors. If you run, so many moons ago they introduced a thing where if you do legendary lost sectors solo, you have a chance to get an exotic that's tied to those. Like, you can only get them from those events.
Right.
So I didn't realize this. Bungie announced apparently in one of the patch notes that they put in that if you complete that event, you get a guaranteed exotic.
Nice.
I could not find this fucking thing again. So there's not like a notification in the game unless you're in the area that it comes up. Now it shows up on the map, right? Like every the public events do. The little diamond shows up, and I was like, what the fuck? Then all of a sudden, some dude created an AI bot that scans Neomuna.
Okay.
And notifies people via Discord when that happens. So you get a notification, and you can race over there. It has made it's so much easier to find it because it tells you, like, hey, it's starting in 4 minutes, right? Because the countdown gives you 5 minutes, but the AI bot takes a little bit to get it, so it usually gives you 4-minute warning. So why I bring this up is AI. I don't know how this guy programmed this thing to somehow scan Neomuna in game to know when this event starts, right? Whatever.
Bungie has, because I know that they obviously have some APIs open for people to be able to like look at their character and their loadouts and what they have in other stuff. So they must have some sort of API that's just available.
Yeah.
To just clip into the game and look at what's going on at any given time. Although after I say that, it is kind of weird because it's not like you're logged. You must have to be logged into the game already in order for it to work, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't understand how he built an
like,
AI thing to do this.
Because it's not like they're only running one server that handles all of these people. When you log on, you're only logged into one server, one random server.
Yeah, when you jump from place to place, you'll jump servers because they obviously live separately. You're not on one server the entire time.
Yeah, so it must mean that you have to be logged in. You have to be in the general area, well, meaning whatever map it is that has the possibility to get these public events, and then it somehow locks into your character, and then can tell what public events are near you, type of thing.
Yeah, it's. I'm telling you, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, and it scans it like all the time, and it's weird too. Like, I'll pull it up because it's so fucking random, and I'll give you these times. All right, so we'll just go back to the one that really pissed me off the other day, May 8th. So 10:50 a.m. event started. 12:02 p.m. event started. 5:08 p.m. event started. 7:32 p.m. event started. 9:20 p.m. event started. 10:32 p.m. event started. 11:27 p.m. event started. 12:38 a.m. event started. 2:26 a.m. event started. 3:56 a.m. 4:32 a.m. 5:25 a.m. 7:50 a.m. 7:20 p.m. the same day.
So it really is like anywhere between 1 hour to 5 hours.
To 12 hours.
Was it 12 hours?
Because there's one that's a 7:50 a.m. and the next one is 7:20 p.m.
So it really is like super fucking random.
Yeah, dude. Like, I woke up the other morning and there was like 10 notifications from when I went to sleep about this event going on. And I was like, that's 10 potential exotics I don't have access to now. Because
I like how, A, that's how you think about it. But B, it makes me think, how does it know? It must be working off of maybe the last server that you were logged into. Which would mean that even if you did log in, it might not even guarantee those times.
And that's the thing too, is like the other day it popped off and I happened to be home, so I jumped on and it wasn't happening. And you can tell something was going on because like multiple people jumped into that area because it, like, luckily in that particular one, it's there's an actual like spawn point there, so you can spawn right to that zone. And people just run around, and the flag is always in the same spot for this event in those areas. There's always one specific spot, and it wasn't there. And I checked the chat, everyone's like, "Oh, it's not happening. It's wrong. And something's happened. Blah blah blah. Bungie blocked it. All this stuff, whatever." Right? And it just turns out it was like some Discord was actually not sending notifications properly, I guess.
Okay.
So people were getting notifications like anywhere from like 15 minutes to an hour later than what the notification was sent. But the whole thing is like, it's this this guy's a super nerd because he created this AI thing, but he's a super Destiny nerd because he calls it Asher Mir.
Okay.
Which, if you remember at all Destiny, there was a guy, a character, an NPC character that had the robot arm that was on one of the destinations you go to, Io. And he, when they sunsetted that area, part of the story, he disappeared, and they brought him back in the newer game as like this like hidden thing, and this one of the story missions or the exotic missions I can't fucking beat because he's getting swamped by the boss over and over again. I just can't do it. It makes me frustrated, and I want to delete the game anyhow because I don't have friends that play this game. Tosh. So like it was just interesting. He calls it that, but like it's crazy because like this thing. And you can get notified, obviously, through Discord. It just sends you a notification saying, "Hey, at Harpy, the Asher Mir thing is saying, hey, incursion happening." The last one was 4 hours ago. It was at 5:50 a.m. And I legit almost got out of bed to go play,
of course,
because I was already up and I was like, "Ooh, yes." And it's funny too because at 5:31 a.m. it went off also. So 5:31 a.m. and then 5:50 a.m. this morning, it went off that quickly.
Wow,
but it hasn't happened again since, according to the bot.
So yeah, obviously we'd need to know more about how it works, but I doubt that Bungie is launching the same events at the same time on every server that they have going.
Yeah, so that's what I don't understand is like you don't.
So it has to be, to me, that it's working off of, because do you link your Bungie account to it?
No. So that's the crazy thing is you don't do anything but link your you just log into your Discord and you go to that and you accept the invite, which was weird to me that that's what they call it. Like I'm going there to join your Discord, but then I have to accept your invite. I don't know, it's a weird way of saying it. Anyhow, so you go in and you just do it, and then you say, yes, I'd like to get notified. I like to get notified from this bot or whatever, and then that's it. And somehow, I don't know what this thing does, but it literally, so far, other than that one occurrence, it's been correct every single time. Every time I get the notification, if I'm at home and I can jump on, I will, and the event is happening.
So then it must mean, because you're not putting any information into it for you, it's not hooking into any of your stuff, knowing where you were or are at any given time, then that must mean that Bungie is actually launching these events at the same time on every server.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Because
it has to be.
Yeah, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense, because if I launch, like, you don't know what's happening in a public event, or I mean, in an area that a public event will happen to, until you're in the game and you choose your destination. Because if you go, it'll say it, and you'll load in. Obviously, that's the server you're on, and it loads to that one. And there's like obviously like subset servers that load you into the game in certain areas. Blah blah blah. Right. But the only way I can think of is this event is like game wide every time. So when it goes off. And that's why I think it's so random, the times, because everything has to line up.
Right.
Another public event can't be happening at that same time in that area. Because one of the things that also that happens in the new area is a terminal overload, which is like a giant public event. It's one of the things they started a couple updates ago. They always have one in the new area. And every day it rotates to one of the 3 public areas. And then we'll always trigger off that. So, and part of that is nothing else happens in that area that day if that's happening. So you will get a thing saying, "Hey, the Vex incursion zone and terminal override are together." So terminal override takes over. The incursion will never happen. So that's the only time. But and that can happen potentially. If I did the math right, at least twice a week. Maybe because there's 3 areas that can go to, and there's 7 days a week, so I'm guessing 2 on average, unless you really just has bad math. And because again, the Vex incursion zone doesn't move every day; it's every week it moves. So I think it's twice a week you have a potential of not having that event going on in a day. But yeah, it's wild because like somehow this dude figured that out or something, and he made this thing to then identify it and notify everybody. And it's just, it's fucking, it's crazy to think like I know AI and things like that. It's not a fucking new thing that just got invented, you know. It's been around for a while, and obviously it's coming fuller into our society with more powerful devices that we carry and have, and the fact the internet is the way the internet is, and blah blah blah. But it's wild to me that like this dude just like, I don't know what he does for a living. I don't know anything about this dude. He just made this thing, put it on the internet for everybody to use. And he does say, hey, if you would like to donate, you can.
Right. But
you don't have to. He's not saying, hey, donate $5 and you can have access to this. He just let you have it. But it's crazy because like, it's so... Like, it seems like he was like, oh, cool. Here it is.
And it's... Yeah.
You know, and it's like crazy because like...
It might be something very simple that he just had to put together.
So bizarre, man.
And that's it. I wonder if he doesn't have somewhere, some website like, this is how I did it, or somebody will ask him sometime, be like, hey man, can you put up a tutorial for like how you did this, because it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. And you even actually made it so you can put it on your own server on Discord too if you wanted to. So you can link to it so that if you have your own server that you have people, so if you're a a content creator and you have your own group of people you play with, or just your friends in general, and they don't want to sign up for another Discord to go through, you can actually link it to your server, your Discord server, and it'll do the same thing for your group of people as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty dope. I was like, that's pretty rad, dude. He doesn't charge for it. Again, he just says, hey, if you want to donate, you can. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's wild.
Right? It's going to be interesting to see how much more we see of that stuff, or even what Bungie's response to this is, because while you're talking about it, I have mixed emotions about this type of thing. For on the one hand, probably like you as a gamer who doesn't have as much time in the day as he wished he had in order to play some games. It's really nice to be able to be like, okay, this thing is that is a random thing is going on right now. I have the time. Let me jump on. Let me see if I can do it so I can get the better gear type thing. But on the other hand, it kind of takes the spontaneity out of it. You know, I happen to be playing, and oh shit, I roll into this rare event that's going on where I can get exotic gear guaranteed. So I kind of see both sides of it, and I wonder if Bungie will patch that out and make it so that you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully not, because it doesn't seem to be, to me, like it really affects the game per se.
No, because it's not like it's something that, like, yeah, you're getting exotics, right? Like, you know, and it's just a cool way, because obviously they put that event in the game for a reason, right? It's not like this guy did something to make this event spawn and give you fucking these hard to get items. Right. Bungie made that event for that reason. And like I said, when I ran into the event, I had no idea what it was. I hadn't heard about it. I didn't know what was happening in it. And I got stomped on, and then once I respawned, I started fighting. I was like, oh, I figured this out. I killed the dudes. They gave me this thing. I can get through the shields, and I can kill these. But there's like, I didn't know there was 3 stages to it. There's a single boss, a double, 2 bosses, and triple bosses. I came into the bridge that had all 3 bosses on it, so I thought that's what I was doing. And I'm sitting there, and I take one of them down finally, and I'm like, yeah. And the time ends, and it's over, and I don't get anything out of it. And I was like, well, that was interesting. I don't know what the fuck that was, and I never saw it again. Mm-hmm. And then I saw someone online. It was on, I think it was on YouTube or whatever. They're like, hey, if you want these exotics, here's how to get them. I was like, yeah, fucking goddamn Lost Sectors. I can't beat a lot of them because they're just too hard content, because I don't have the cool exotics that you get out of them. And the ones I've done, I never got an exotic out of them. I did it solo, and it's not guaranteed you're going to get an exotic. It's RNG.
Right.
Which is like super dumb to me. Like, I get it, because like there's people who like just, they scoff at those, and they're like, oh, I can do legendary solo Lost Sectors all day long. I'm like, right. Cool. I can't. Because I don't have 14 hours a day to play this fucking game. You know, and do all this stuff. And it's not one of those things where it's like a guaranteed exotic. And so like when Bungie, Destiny, whoever you want to say, was like, hey, we made this event, I was like, cool, awesome. Nobody's fucking there because nobody knows it's happening, you know?
Right. So it makes it harder for you, who does stumble upon it, to play through it.
Yeah, because you can have like 6 or 7 people there, and you could possibly die several times during it, because it's just by the third encounter, there's so many bad guys. Like you literally need people here to like distract and be, you know, not just you being cannon fodder the entire time. Because that's the problem with some of the higher end content. If you're solo, all of the bad guys shoot at you.
Right.
And that's a lot of guns pointed at you.
Yep.
And it's just overwhelming. And I'm like, I just can't. Every time, like everywhere, you know, you can't just get into a corner and just protect yourself. It's like you're gonna get fucking murder botted everywhere. So, but this is cool. It was way of doing it, and like, and I honestly, since this thing happened, like I've gotten several exotic that I've never had, obviously, but like I've got necrotic grips as one of the most wanted items, and then I found out that once you get it, that exotic falls into the whirlpool, and I ended up getting another pair of necrotic grips from a nightfall, and I was like, I could get a better roll. I don't have to keep. I was like, oh, I just have to unlock it, and then oh my god, so excited. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's dope.
That's cool, because then you don't have to sit there and run the same raids or this or that over and over again just to try and get the better ones.
Exactly.
Cool.
So I thought it was pretty neat though. burrito. And the fact that I don't know how the fuck the guy made it. Like, that just seems crazy to me that he was able to do it so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I say quickly, the game's been out for like, a few months now, but that seems real quick.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so the story that I have, the only real story I have for today, because the rest is all garbage.
Okay.
So if I said the names Mike Flanigan,
Yes,
and Stephen King,
that's a very interesting combination.
Okay.
I mean, because I do like some of the horror that Mike Flanagan has done, and I definitely like the horror that Stephen King has done.
okay.
So you've piqued my interest.
So I'll have two more names for you:
Oh,
Tom Hiddleston and Mark Hamill.
what movie or TV show are we gonna get that is written by Stephen King? Maybe even have a cameo of Stephen King, starring Tom Hiddleston and Luke Skywalker.
Which is funny you say Luke Skywalker, because in this article they literally call him Luke Skywalker.
Of course they did. Everybody would. I could have called him the Joker.
You could have, yeah. But people were like, huh?
Yeah.
But those people suck, so you suck if you said, huh?
Yeah.
Anyhow, so apparently Mike Flanagan has got the rights, which was weird because I believe, and this article talks about it, last time I heard they were got by somebody else, but has gotten the rights to Stephen King's The Life of Chuck.
Okay.
So question marks might arise. What the hell is The Life of Chuck?
I was gonna say it's not one I'm familiar with, but a lot of his newer stuff I'm not familiar with either. So
It is new. So it's from it's one of his newer novellas that was released in the last collection he did, which was If It Bleeds is what it's called. And it that all leads to, so if you don't remember, Will It Bleeds is the collection of 4 novellas. One of them is the featured one, If It Bleeds, and that is the Holly Gibney story. Holly Gibney is from The Outsider, as well as she's going to have a new novel, her own novel, that comes out later this year. But in that collection is a story called The Life of Chuck.
okay.
And The Life of Chuck is a 3-part story told from all about a guy named Chuck who finds out at the age of 39 he has terminal cancer. And the story is told from 3 different points of view. One, which is not even Chuck. One is a imaginary world that is on the brink of collapse, like cataclysmic, like world fucking ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the one of Chuck's life as he's learning he has cancer, and then the other one is his real, like him basically remembering his life up until that point, but it's told backwards.
Okay.
It's a rough generalization of the stories, but it has been picked up. So originally, Darren Aronofsky's production company was the first to option the story, but apparently that fell apart. And so Mike Flanagan has apparently gained the rights to it. However that happens and works, I'm not too sure because I'm not into that portion of the world. But he has gotten a hold of it and he is going to make it. And apparently, Tom Hiddleston and Mark Hamill have signed on to be in it. Tom Hiddleston will play Chuck, and Mark Hamill will actually play Chuck's grandfather.
Okay.
So that was the story I had, and it sounds really awesome. And that story is fucking weird, and is very, very sad.
It sounds very sad.
But the crazy part about it is, depending on how they do it, when the story starts off in the novella, it's this like world, this collapsing world, and you don't know what's happening. All you keep hearing is like, "Thank you, Chuck," or something like that. Like it's very bizarre. It's very strange, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then the story goes on, and then by the end of it, you obviously you know what's happening, but you're like, what the fuck was going on there? So yeah, it's very interesting to be very interesting to see how it works, and how they do it. But apparently,
Flanagan still have a agreement with Netflix to be making stuff. So could this be a Netflix show? Or
no.
is this gonna be something else?
Remember, his deal with Netflix expired, and he actually signed a deal with Amazon.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because that's where potentially the Dark Tower series is going to go.
Right.
Because he now has he has perspective rights to the Dark Tower. So he has however long that lasts to then start production on something, which obviously right now with the whole writer's strike is going to be a non-played thing because, well...
Non-starter, yeah.
Well, because they can't actually... that thing is like, everyone's like, oh, it's production stopped. No. They can't work on... Part of the strike is you can't work on stuff that's currently running. But I guarantee you these writers who are picketing and things like that, or if they're available to be picketing somewhere, they're not working, right? They just can't be paid for the work they're doing. It's not like they stopped and said, oh, well, I'm just going to relax and not, work my brain out. They're definitely writing stuff. They just can't write stuff that's in production, and they can't sell anything that they're writing during the strike because of the union. But
I think I get what you're saying, yeah.
Because it's like saying, hey, you when the strike of the baseball happens, like you can't play Major League Baseball, but a bunch of those dudes were playing like men's leagues because they love baseball and they want to stay in shape. Some of them, not all of them. The same thing. These writers can't just turn their brains off. They obviously have stuff they potentially will be have already been working on, but also like they know this strike is going to end somehow, someday, and so they already are working on stuff or continue working on stuff that's potentially going to be sold or currently working on, like things like Stranger Things season 5 has been put on hiatus because of the writer's strike. Bunch of others. Game of Thrones thingy. What's it called? House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah. That's been put on hold. The Blade movie has been put on hold. All because of the writers who are part of the Writers Guild cannot work on things during a strike. So they cannot technically work without repercussions from, well, their friends as well as the union itself. So interesting, but yeah. So it's interesting this comes out now during the writer's strike, but obviously it's not something he just like signed on to do. It's probably something that's been in the works for a while. But yeah. I thought it was pretty rad because I'm a big fan of a lot of those people that are involved in that.
Right.
And that story was cool. So, I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it because it's going to be pretty weird, but Mike Flanigan finds ways to do things, so
right. That's basically all I had.
Yeah, me too. It's a nice tight, just about an hour. So before Joe has a chance to close his window, I'll wrap it up. So this has been Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
I have been Cody. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.
Now you can hang up.